A night at the museum. The students on the robotics team are once again on a train to the big city. But this time, they are not going to a robotics fair. This time, they are going to visit the Museum of Science and Industry. They will be having a sleepover on the old World War II submarine that is in the river next to the museum. When the students arrive at the museum, Kendra is happy to see the beautiful gardens in the front. They were designed by a famous botanist. Each garden has plants from a different continent. There are plants from Africa, Asia, Australia, Europe, and America. There are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple flowers. "It's a rainbow of plants," she says. Then the students enter the lobby of the museum. An airplane from World War II is hanging from the ceiling. There is a gift shop with science books and DVDs. There is also a cafe that is spelled cafe using two symbols from the periodic table of elements. Cafe? Calcium and iron? What do they sell there? Vlad says. You should know since you like coffee so much, says Mateo. After they get their tickets from the receptionists, the students go up the escalators. The museum has many big rooms. In the architecture hall, they see designs and small models of buildings and bridges by famous architects and engineers. Vlad says, I think I would like to be an architect someday. I could design a home that gets all its energy from sun and wind. Sure, but you would also need an engineer to think about how to make it work. Maybe I would be the engineer, says Kendra. Now the students are coming to the Hall of Natural History. The first exhibit has a volcano model that is almost as high as the ceiling. There is a cave to explore. It also has a waterfall and small river inside. All afternoon, the students explore from one room to the next. They meet scientists who talk about their work. They see some old designs from Leonardo da Vinci, a famous Italian scientist from the 15th century. Look, says Kendra. Here are his designs for a 15th century airplane. I read about this. He never built it, but the design says how to do it. He studied birds and other flying animals to make his design. Kendra, Vlad, come see this, says Mateo. Mateo is standing in front of a different design. It's a design for a robot. Can you believe that Da Vinci was already thinking about robots in the 15th century? After dinner at the cafe, it is beginning to get dark. It is time to walk to the submarine. Don't forget to use your flashlights, says their teacher, Mr. Simpson. The old submarine has many interesting things in it. Look at all these instruments for driving the submarine, says Vlad. There are so many. It sure would be difficult to learn to drive this thing. It's a 20th century submarine. It doesn't use any computers, says Kendra. It is only about 75 years old, but it looks ancient, says Mateo. The students have to go through a small door to get to the room where they will sleep. The room has many beds. There are beds high, with other beds under them. The beds are very small because the submarine used to carry many soldiers. The students put their sleeping bags on the beds. After they use the restroom and brush their teeth, they get into their sleeping bags. Everyone is very tired. Good night, everyone, says Vlad. Sleep well. Good night, Vlad, answers Kendra. But there is no answer from Mateo. He is already sleeping. Some hours later, it is very dark inside the submarine, and Mateo is turning in his sleep. While he sleeps, he half hears something. At first, it is far off and quiet, but it begins to get louder. It is almost like very bad violin playing or metal cans falling down. Now it is louder and coming nearer. Mateo sits up. His eyes are wide open. He is listening carefully. Someone is there. Mateo opens his eyes very wide to see better. As his eyes get used to the dark, Mateo can see a big man wearing a metal suit. His walking is slow and loud. He is walking to Mateo. Who are you? Asks Mateo. The man speaks. I am called Leo. he says slowly. He speaks each word alone from the others. His English is almost like Italian. "Why are you here?" asks Matteo. "I need your help to make a new robot," says the man. "Please, come with me." Matteo walks behind the man in the metal suit. They go outside of the submarine and into the museum. They come to a large airplane. The wings of the airplane look like the wings of a very big bird. "It is a short flight," says the man called Leo. While the airplane is flying, Matteo looks out the window. He can see one of the airplane's wings. It is going up and down in the sky like a bird's wing. Matteo can also see the continents and the oceans from the window. The continents are many different colors: red, blue, orange, yellow, green, and purple. They are beautiful. As the airplane begins to go down, Matteo sees that the continents are made of flowers of many colors. The airplane is going down to the continent of Europe. "Wait, Europe is too far," says Matteo. "I have to return to the museum. My teacher and friends will be looking for me." Matteo gets up from his seat. He is going to drive the airplane back to the museum. Leo says, "You cannot return." Now Leo has a cell phone. With his metal fingers, he is touching the numbers on the phone. Although Matteo wants to walk to the front of the airplane, instead he is returning to his seat and sitting down. "Please, I need to return to the museum." Now Matteo is speaking like Leo. What has happened? Matteo tries to speak again. "I want to return now." Matteo sees that Leo is touching more numbers on the phone. Matteo wants to get up, but he can't. Leo is using the phone to make him sit down. "No, no, 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 no," says Matteo. Leo says, "It's okay, Matteo." "It's okay, Matteo," Kendra is saying. Matteo looks up and sees Kendra and Vlad. "You were sleeping," says Vlad. "You had a bad dream." Matteo sees the students in the small beds. Light from the sun is beginning to come through the windows of the submarine. Matteo smiles at his friends. He is very happy to see them.